What's up, everybody? I'm back again with another movie review. You can't really see my eyes. Hi! Welcome to my video, friend. Yes, I have a new puppy. Can you get down so I can do my review, please? Down. Down. No. No, not up here. Down. Come on. Up we go. Down, please. Please get down. Thank you. Now that that has been settled, I am back. I'm going to be doing the movie review for Love, Simon. Now, if you don't know what Love, Simon is, it is about Simon, who is gay, but he hasn't told anyone about it yet, and he finds out that there's someone else in his school that's gay, and he starts talking to him through email, but then someone leaks his email, so his whole life kind of ends, and he just wants to go and find out who this person is the entire time, trying to get acceptance and trying to figure out who this person that he was emailing with. So in this movie, you have Nick Robinson, Jennifer Garner, Josh Duhamel, Catherine Langford, Alexandra Shipp, Keenan Lonsdale. Alexandra Shipp and Keenan Lonsdale. They were decent at their acting roles. However, their characters I found could be fleshed out a little bit more. You kind of explored their backstory slightly, and the other one, you explored it in a different way without really exploring it. So I wish they kind of delved into each of those characters a little bit more than what they did or how they presented them, just to kind of give them a little different perspective and to kind of flesh them out a little bit more, make them more real. Nick Robinson's character as Simon, he was amazing. He's funny. He's he can definitely do the whole emotional scenes that they do in this movie. His character is just he's just very real and very believable. Everything he says, everything he does, I could see myself doing in these situations more or less. Jennifer Garner's character of Emily, who's Simon's mom, she was okay. She wasn't horrible, but she wasn't the best actress that's in this movie. In all of her roles, I find she's just kind of there. No matter what role she's in, she's always just kind of there. She doesn't stand out, even if she's in a solo movie, aka Elektra. She's just still kind of there. And I feel like her co-stars kind of upstage her slightly. But, I mean, she brought a little to the role. Like, her acting could have improved a little more. If they found someone else to take over the role of Emily, it probably would have been just that much better. But she wasn't horrible in the movie. Josh Duhamel's character was a believable character as well. He was basically the typical dad in the situation. Making all the jokes and then trying not to be serious. And when he is serious, he doesn't want to be emotional, because when he's emotional, he's got to make the jokes to make it break the awkwardness. So that was very real. That was very believable, I found. And then Catherine Langford's character of Leah. She was very much Hannah from 13 Reasons Why. Everything she did, everything she said, how she acted, how she responded, how she dressed, just pretty much everything about her. Oh, he's losing his balance. Dax. Good boy. Sit. Sit. Sit, please. He's staring at me. Hi. She was basically Hannah from 13 Reasons Why. Everything about her that she did in this movie, she did in that show. and I kind of wish she kind of branched out from that character. She was a little more happy-go-lucky in this sense, but she was still very much definitely Hannah. So there was a little bit of a disappointment there, but she was still a great character. As for the story was very simple, but yet it still captivated the audience. Everyone was still hooked. Everyone wanted to know what was going to happen next. It was very effective. Everything that led up to each situation played out beautifully. It all fit like the perfect puzzle piece. It just worked with each other. Anything that had happened kind of like domino affected everything throughout the entire movie, and then they just had when everything was kind of destroyed, they had to rebuild it and just do a whole 180 of the whole movie, and it ended up working, and it was really good. Everything was perfection. Now, this movie does give you joy. It does give you happiness. It gives you sadness. It gives you anger. It gives you wonder. Just all of these emotions, and you will probably cry. I teared up 3 times in this movie, not because it was... Well, I didn't tear up at like any sad parts, because, I mean, there weren't really like huge sad parts, but it was more of a happy tearing. So, like when you're so happy that you start to cry. So, that happened 3 different times, and I definitely teared up. I didn't cry, but I teared up. So, but it is super emotional. It is super, super good. But I like how the direction of this went, because when you were in these situations of just the happy crying, the director doesn't want the audience to just sit there and cry and cry and cry. They want them to actually pay attention to the movie. So they would throw in the joke that like right afterwards. So it's like, oh, I'm sad. Character A is sad. Character B explains why they're proud of them. Character B makes a joke. We move on. None of the jokes were forced. All of the jokes were hilarious. I laughed constantly throughout the movie. There's actually one character in this movie who's like the drama teacher. By far my favorite character, even above Simon. It goes her and then Simon. She is just batshit crazy and phenomenal, and I aspire to be her with just her attitude. It was so great to see this kind of a character, and I'm so happy that she was in this movie, because it just made the movie that much better. Now, obviously, with this, they are playing on the typical stereotype. There is a character who's also gay in the movie, and he's the very stereotypical gay. He will dress gay, style his hair a certain way, talks a certain way, and he's just very out there. So there's the very stereotypical gay, but then you have Simon, who's very closeted. He's basically the straight gay guy who doesn't act like he's into guys. He'll just act like himself. And I enjoyed seeing both sides to this division of individuals. Because not everyone knows that there are these type of guys out there who are gay. Everyone always just assumes that they're the Yas Queen dressing in like super tight, short-fitting clothing or super bright clothes, and they have the higher pitch with the very like Valley Girl kind of speech to it. And we're not all like that. So I'm glad that they ended up showing someone else in a movie that kind of acts not the stereotypical way. Now, there isn't really an antagonist to the movie. You could stretch it out and say that the antagonist is the person who leaks all of the emails to make Simon's life basically a living hell. But even still, they're not doing that maliciously. They're not out to get Simon. It's just certain situations have happened which led them to do this. And I'm not saying what, but Watch the film and you'll know. And you'll see what I mean, how they're not really an antagonist. Like, I think they would be because of the situation, because of how the movie plays out, and because it is such a more uplifting film. There isn't really going to be that dark part. But if you were to point a dark part or dark character in the film, this person would be that antagonist. That being said, same thing goes with the climax. There's not really a huge arc point for the storyline. Really, the only climactic thing that happens is when the emails get released. And you see, the introduction to all the characters. You get the rising action, which is everything that kind of leads up to the point of releasing. Emails get released, and then, okay, how can we go from this to a happy ending kind of a thing? And it is a very, very happy ending. So you don't have to worry. I went into the movie thinking someone was going to die. Luckily, no one died, because I probably would not have been able to take that. Then the oceans would have come out of my eyes. But luckily, that didn't happen. It was a nice, happy ending after everything. So you have that to look forward to. But yeah, the climax, I would say, it would be the emails being released to everyone to out Simon. And at the beginning of the movie, there was something that was going on that I didn't really like. They did like a voiceover, kind of explaining something through Simon's words. And then they played it out, and then it went back to Simon typing on the computer, I guess, the first email to this blue character. And it was the exact same speech that they had originally played. And I get that it was a long email he was writing. I get that they wanted to kind of skip over the same message that they just played at the very beginning of the movie. But I didn't like how they did it. Because it was just, you would hear maybe 5 words of a sentence, and then it would, on that like 4th word of that sentence, he would start talking a new sentence, and it starts overlapping everything he's saying. So it got very like muddled and just kind of confusing to listen to. And I found that took away from the excitement or the dramatic portions of this one scene. So that one I didn't really like too much about. But that aside, moving forward, everything played out wonderfully. Everything was magnificent. Everything looked beautiful. The editing was wonderful. The pacing was pristine. The production and the settings were awesome. The lighting was terrific. The score was great. Just everything worked well with each other, and it was a beautiful, beautiful film. So, overall, my rating for Love, Simon is an A-. Go watch this movie. I want to go and see it again. It is probably one of my favorite films to date this year. I know we're only in March, but right now, Love, Simon is definitely my favorite film of 2018. We will see what happens come April when Infinity War comes out. But definitely Love, Simon is my number 1 film of 2018 right now. Go watch it, especially if you have people who are kind of closed-minded. Try and get them to go, open their minds, have them understand the struggles people go through when they're trying to come out to friends, to family, to themselves, even to just complete strangers. Bring them, inform these people, make them open their minds, make them open their eyes, make them understand, help them understand by bringing them to this movie. Go. If you like this review, make sure you give it a like. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. Make sure you leave some comments down below. Make sure you check out my second channel of Super Frown with Brian. Make sure you subscribe to all of my social media, and I will see you next week for another video. Bye.
My life is a part